My man, Travis Mills. How are you, dude?
Thanks for having us.
Dude, yes, well, us, and by plural, you mean singular, you so far. So at least I know you're punctual.
I know that Nick is joining. We're in the studio from like 10 a.m. this morning, and I was cutting vocals, and I got to leave a little bit early to come home and get ready for this. Nick is probably going to be joining us from the studio.
Gotcha. Got that live atmosphere. Can't beat that. You know what I mean? So.
Hey man, we're working. Even no matter what, we're working.
Always grinding, and it has been, dude. First of all, I was gonna say it's been a year for you. It's been a life for you, my man. Like, you nonstop, one of the hardest workers I've known for obviously a couple years now. But dude, I'm so proud of you and how Girlfriends has rolled out. You totally deserve this and more. And just the reaction has been ridiculous, and it's well deserved, man. So congrats.
Thank you so much, man. I mean, yeah, I took a few years off of making and releasing music, and, I started writing for other people, and I was hosting, a TV show, and I have my Apple Music shows, and it just felt like, dude, about time, man. And so, linking up with Nick and seeing what we've been able to build in just a year. It's crazy to say that, like, I think it was like June 26th or something, we put out our first song ever in 2020. So like we just hit like our official 1 year anniversary as a band.
Right.
Yeah, man, in that 1 year, we put out our debut album. We've dropped 2 singles this year, and we're about to go on tour. It's insane.
I had you on as we speak here with Girlfriends. You can check them out. They are solid. Such a good group. We're here with Travis Mills. T Mills, my man. Travis here on The Gunz Show every single Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then, of course, this goes up on The Gunz Show on idobi Radio, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere afterwards. But I had you on when you did drop California, and I hadn't heard the whole album yet. And that was like, obviously, the calm before the storm. But you were just in such good spirits, man, because this is, the music that we grew up with. This is being able to like really do you. And it really came across in the album. And you just seem like you're happy.
Thank you, man. I mean, there's no better feeling than getting to like make music, with your friends. And then now, like with live music coming back, knowing that I get to go and play these songs and like watch people, sweat and sing and scream the words like back at me. Like that's why we do this, man. That's why we spend hours locked inside of a room, writing and recording, is like to go on the road and like share that energy with people. So, I mean, look, it was, a crazy year last year for everyone,
totally.
And we were unsure of what, the future held, and, how we were going to launch a music project. And, I think one thing that Nick and I are good at is kind of just being able to pivot and change, like, circumstances come and, obstacles come, and we were able to navigate it, and we put a record out that we're proud of. And now, dude, now we're having fun. And like Tattoo is probably, it's my favorite song that we've made as a band. So
nice. So we're going the right direction is what you're saying. We're going the right direction as far as music goes, right?
100%, man. And we're treating all like these new batch of songs, like we're treating this as our debut record still, it's like just kind of driving in the point of like who we are as a band, the music that we want to make, and like kind of, the culture that we want to immerse ourselves in.
And it's coming across. I mean, obviously, what's great with you, though, is that you've been able to, you have your diehard fan base that's been able to know you throughout the years or whatnot, but also this realm of people knowing you from Girlfriends is awesome, man, because that album is sick. And there's so much, like 2 a.m. is, dude, the end of 2 a.m. is a jam, dude. And like I'm so stoked to see some of these songs live, actually all the songs live, but it's just, the energy. I DJ'd, you know what I mean by that, on Emo Night Brooklyn on Friday. We sold out Irving Plaza, okay? So 1,100 people straight up, like, and plus like 100 on the guest list. Dude, and that's just DJing, quote unquote. But like, dude, the live atmosphere. I mean, when people are crowd surfing to Paramore and just people going fucking wild, it showed that people are just feeding for that live concert experience, and these songs are gonna resonate so well, man. I'm fucking pumped just talking about it with you.
Dude, I appreciate you saying that. I mean, dude, I think that's, I talk to people every single day, and I think the one collective thing is we're all ready for live music to come back. Like, dude, I'm gonna go see bands that I don't even really like just so I could be at shows. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally,
Like,
yes.
I just want to be in a venue, like listening to live music, like, you know, even for, you know, bands that I'm not the biggest fan of. But yeah, with the announcement of all these tours that are coming out and all these festivals that are back, like, it feels like we're in a really good place. And, you know, I can't wait, like I said, to go on the road and play these songs for people. Because, dude, we haven't even been able to tour the first record yet. Like, we put it out in November of 2020, and, you know, we're already, I think we're almost, you know, we're in summer of 2021 now, and I think we've played one live show, and it was kind of like a low-key, kind of like warm-up, you know. It was in downtown LA. It was real punk rock, like warehouse, no permits.
Like a CBGB type, like grunge,
350 kids, like it was sold out, and, you know, the walls were sweating, but like that, it was almost like a tease, because like as soon as we got off stage, we looked at each other like, why can't we do this again tomorrow? You know, like, so we're just so ready to get on the road and play night after night.
I think one of the biggest things as we speak here with Girlfriends, you can follow them, Spotify, obviously, stream, pick up the album everywhere, and they're also going to be embarking on tour a little over a month, I think maybe 2 months, I don't know what day it is, who knows. But in September, you'll definitely be on the road. And with our buddy Mod's son, we'll talk about that, and also Tyler Posey, we'll talk about the tour as well. You can pick up tickets. It's going to sell out everywhere, so if you don't have a ticket yet, pick it up. As we speak here with Travis Mills from Travis Mills from Girlfriends, and of course, you can ask questions in the chat, and more we'll get to in just a couple seconds. But you know, you've toured throughout your career, and like you said, you did take a couple years off. But what I've kind of been explaining to fans out there, and I don't mean this in any disparaging way, obviously, but you know, I've toured, like, you know, I was on the road from time to time, just, you know, hanging out with the homies and stuff and the friends. But sometimes I wouldn't say people may take it for granted. But, you know, you wake up every day in a different town, different city. You know what I mean? Especially in the B markets, C markets, and which you toured for years at times. And so sometimes it's like, I wouldn't say going through the routines, but like, I felt like we did take concerts for granted. Me being in New York City, I was going to concerts 4 times a week, you know? But now that we haven't had it, I think from the artists like you, to the media personality like myself, to the fans, I don't care if you're in Bumblefuck, Ohio, to LA, to New York City, to Miami, to Chicago, Boston, whatever. Every city is going to go wild for live music.
100%, dude. I mean, you know, and it's not just live shows that I took for granted. Like, I took going out to, you know, dinner with my friends and being able to eat in a restaurant for granted. Like, I think, you know, this last year, like, really opened my eyes up to, like, really just be grateful for what we have and, like, the experiences that we're able to share with other human beings. Because, dude, there was nothing worse than, like, having to just be isolated in a house, you know, and sitting by yourself day in and day out. Like, nobody wants to experience that again. And so I think, you know, now that the world's opening back up, like, anytime I get to go to lunch or dinner or like have a rehearsal or be in the studio with the people I love, like, it's the best fucking day ever, you know?
It's so true. Dude, that's so true. And we will never, ever take it for granted again. I know that we spoke last year, like I said, I guess back in June, like when Girlfriends dropped or whatever, it was definitely summertime. Here we are, talking about Groundhog's Day. Here we are a fucking year later together, my man, which is wild. But obviously things are a lot better today than they were a year ago. Yeah. What kind of kept you going throughout? Like, do you have any advice for people out there? I always say to the audience out there is anybody who says that they weren't struggling is lying. Because this was emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever word you want to use, draining on everybody. So anybody who said that, oh no, I was okay, like, no, there were bad days for everybody involved. What would you want to say to the fans out there?
I mean, I think the thing that got me through was definitely, like, writing for me is definitely cathartic, you know, it helps me process a lot of things. But I also, like, doubled down on therapy, you know, through the whole pandemic. Like, I was going to therapy, I don't know, 2 to 3 times a week because I could. And I think it's, like, you know, such an incredible tool that everyone should utilize. And there's, like, so many amazing organizations and websites out there, you know, for people to find a therapist, get connected with someone that's qualified to talk to. And, you know, even if you think like you're someone that doesn't need it, like, it's so nice, you know, being equipped with tools to handle just life, man. Like, you don't need necessarily to have anything traumatic happen to you to benefit from therapy, you know? So yeah, like, really working on, like, my mental health and, you know, how I process things and how I was perceiving the world and, you know, how I deal with anger, you know, sadness, whatever. that definitely like carried me through. I read a lot. Like I crossed a lot of books off my list.
Okay.
You know, which was really cool. And then also like I got to dive back into all the music that I listened to when I was a kid. Like I didn't really care about, you know, new shit that was coming out. Like I went back into like, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old Travis's playlists and you know, my music collection, my record collection, and like revisited all those records. And
any shout outs like Midtown starting line? I have the starting line up there. I'll drive through records, shout them out. Any Take It Back Sunday there, the Used over there. Any like what kind of music were you listening to growing up and shit?
Literally all of those bands, dude.
Let's go. Let's go.
Like all the Dashboard records. I revisited like all my Bright Eyes records.
Nice.
Who else am I missing? Oh my god.
Just that whole
dude, Hot Fuss. Like I must have listened to the album again like, I don't know, 50 times, you know, Say Anything, like just really like kind of take Cartel, like taking it back, like, you know, indie shows and, you know, just back in the day, man, the bands that I grew up listening to.
You know, I kind of did the same thing because, you know, once it was like, oh, just wait 2 weeks, everything's gonna be fine. And then 2 weeks turned to 2 months, and then 2 months turned to 6 months, and we were like, well, I guess we're screwed. So, you know, when I was looking for happiness, especially being in New York City, where it was really bad in the beginning, obviously, like literally terrible, the worst in the country, at least in the beginning, and then, you know, it went everywhere, unfortunately. But I kind of went to that nostalgic, like, this is what got me through high school. This is what got me, you know, this was my instant messenger away lyrics and shit, you know, like the AIM, you know, MySpace and shit, but it used to be AIM in the beginning. Like I put that as my away message, some email, whatever. But, and then, so I did that for a little bit, and then I also delved into bands that like Rolling Stones. Like obviously we all know the Rolling Stones, like the hits and stuff, but then I started listening to like full albums of things that like I would only know like 1 or 2 songs from, and like really kind of expanded like the greats, like Simon and Garfunkel, you know, like besides Mrs. Robinson. So I felt like music was it's always been there for us, but the last year it definitely came in handy for at least getting by on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like, it's awesome that, you know, we had that time to kind of dig into our collections and like, you know, find new shit too. Like I did that with like the Descendants, and like I was on like this kick for like a long time, and you know, the Clash, and you know, Sex Pistols. And then I also watched a ton of music documentaries, dude, which was super. Jawbreaker has an amazing documentary.
Really?
Out, on Amazon that you guys can watch. I think it came out in like 2017. That was fascinating. And dude, yeah, like I spent my time kind of being a student of music again, and like feeling those feelings. Cause like you said, dude, like before last year, I was definitely jaded, you know, like I didn't want to go to shows. I'd be on guest lists for stuff. I just like wouldn't show up. Like people would drop albums, I wouldn't listen to them. And so like just kind of like reinvigorating my, you know, my taste and you know, that appetite for new music, like that definitely came back.
We're speaking here with Travis Mills. He's from the band Girlfriends. It's Gunz here on a Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're live here on Twitch. Shout out to Twitch and all the above. You're watching us right now. Your questions are coming in next. Twitch.tv, of course, / The Gunz Show has Twitch, because I literally have Twitch. So, and some asshole has the Gunz Show. So when I made the account, I was like, well, the Gunz Show has Twitch. You on Twitch? Yeah, bro, the Gunz Show has Twitch. Like, let's go. So anyway, drop me a follow, subscribe, all of that and more. And of course, if you're not watching it live, well, then you're the worst ever. But we do appreciate you listening anyway on the Gunz Show, of course, on idobi Radio, Spotify, iTunes. I know the podcast audience massive. We're bringing you over to Twitch as well. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to give a shout out to Mark88 says, loves the album and tattoo. Can't wait to see you on tour with Mod's son. So shout out to that dude. I gotta say this, man. I fucking love Mod, and I know that, you know, we kind of all grew up. I had Lyman on, Kevin Lyman from Warped Tour a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about just like that whole Warped Tour vibe, and like, and you know, Machine Gun Kelly and Mod, and you know, even Sammy Adams at times, you know, like it you know, you, etc. And it was like, it was weird because it was like that rap hip hop vibe, but it didn't immediately catch on. But now we're all crushing it, and it's so rad because like it was almost ahead of its time. Like Mod has been fucking playing music for like 16 plus years, doing the punk stuff. You yourself, I remember those Forever Sickest Kids tours and shit, riding in a van trying to get day by day, get by. And now that this is all happening, I don't want to say the revival, whatever words people want to use, I'm just pumped, man, that all the homies it's happening, bro. That tour's gonna be nuts is what I'm saying, dude. It's gonna be such a party.
100%. I mean, first of all, shout out to Mark and 88 for, loving the album and wanting to come to the shows. I mean, me and Mod have been friends, dude, like 2009, I did the Warped Tour. I was not officially booked on it. I was like selling merch. I like rented like a bunk spot and like I would like play a 15-minute set in a merch tent on the grass every day and like set up my own speakers and like bring my like laptop together, like, and a microphone and like I'd, sing a couple songs. I'd pack it up, I'd bring it back to the bus and then back to selling merch for this clothing company. And Mod met me on that tour. He was like drum teching for someone and kind of doing the same thing. And we just became instant homies. And then we both did the tour officially in 2012. And we shared a stage, and it was like me, Mod, MGK, G-Eazy, all of us. Like, it was crazy because like we all came from that scene. We all grew up going to Warped Tour. We all listened to those bands. We were just doing things a little bit different. And it's amazing like how our paths have kind of branched off, and then like they've reconvened, and like now we're like getting to go out on the road and like do these shows together. It's crazy because like we start tour September 9th on the Mod tour. Our first show's at the Roxy. It's all sold out here in LA. And then September 10th, Nick and I get on a plane. We're flying to Iowa, and we're playing a date on the Machine Gun Kelly tour. So, and then we go back onto,
boom, let's go.
The Mod tour. So it's like, dude, it's just like a bunch of old friends getting back together and like, I guess like, breathing new life into this scene that we grew up loving.
What do you think is, with like Mod and obviously MGK, I think MGK, or Bear, there's so many people that are really coming out and whatnot, but like you said, like even with, MGK and stuff, he's kind of leading the way because now everybody else is having the opportunity because MGK is obviously fucking massive right now. What do you want it, like, would you consider it like the scene is back? I don't think it really fully went away, but now it's finally getting that attention. It reminds me of like the mall pop punk days where it was like Sum 41, Newfound, Good Charlotte, like, we'd stay up late night on Much Music Infused to be able to see Newfound Glory on TV at like 2 a.m. or MTV2 Rock and be like, oh shit, Newfound Glory's on MTV at like 3 a.m. on a weekend. You know what I mean? Me and my buddies be drinking beers like 16 years old and be like, let's go. But it feels like it's all happening again. And it's cool because it's people that did bust their asses. A lot of the people that like it's an all-time lows, the biggest they've ever been. And the main, like, you know what I mean? Like it's all coming around. What do you think of, do you call it a revival? Do you think it's people just finally paying attention? How do you kind of describe what's happening?
I think music, dude, just like fashion or art, anything like that, it's cyclical. Like it goes around, and like for the last, 10 years, like hip hop has just dominated absolutely everything. But then, there comes a time where people want something new and like, they want to like feel something different. And I think that's what, this whole kind of rock going into the mainstream again has become. It's like, it's very much like the scene that we grew up in where, bands would be friends and they'd go on a tour and one band's headlining, they take their homies out, they're opening. The next tour, their homies who are opening are headlining and they're taking out the headliner. It's like that's what a real scene is, man. It's like a collective of like-minded individuals who are playing music and who have real relationships. It's not things that are connected by managers and politics and all that bullshit. Like we're like students of the game, like you've seen it, man. Like we've busted our ass. We've, sold, merch just to be able to play a show. I've paid to play shows before, like back in my day. And now it's just cool that we're getting to do it on a level now that like I was watching as a teenager,
Right. Yeah, no, dreaming for that to happen. And now, like you just said, this Mod tour is going to be ridiculous. For those that don't have tickets yet, you need to get it. This tour, I'm telling you, this shows, first of all, Mod's energy is wild. Your energy on stage, especially now that you're fucking crushing it again with like that pop punk vibe and these songs that are so good, man. These shows are going to be must see. Of course, Tyler Posey as well. So pick up tickets because if it's not sold out yet in your town, it's going to be sold out.
After the tour is all sold out. There's a couple shows that some tickets are left, but like every day it's like 20 tickets left or and then it's like moving to a bigger room, and then
right, yeah.
So if you haven't gotten tickets yet, definitely get your tickets, because every single show on this entire tour is going to be sold out.
We got to give shout outs right now. We got Billy Artist, shout out to them. Also St. Lucifer, shout out to them. Malaw Cantor 1, the best band, absolutely, let's go. Billy Artist has a question. How do you guys decide what songs to release as singles? Because I always feel like my favorite ones were released as a single first, which I guess is a good job, right? If you're releasing the best songs, right? That's the name of the game.
I feel like you're sharing my brain right now, then. I think it's the songs that, you know, we find ourselves kind of like going back to the most. You know, Tattoo, like the day that we made it, we knew it was really special, you know? And it's not like, oh, this is gonna perform better than the other one. It's just like, it's a feeling. It's like how it makes you feel. You know, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. But I think the good thing about Nick and I is like we have so much music that we're sitting on, and like, you know, we're making, you know, 1 to 2, sometimes 3 songs a day, that we have like a lot of shit to choose from, which that also can make it even harder, you know, because we have a whole batch of songs and having to narrow them down. It's like, well, what do you cut? What do you keep? But Tattoo, like I was blown away that 1, there's no rock song called Tattoo. 2, like nobody is talking about tattoos in the way that, you know, I kind of spoke it into existence in the hook. And like we furiously checked for it, dude. Like there's a Jordan Sparks song from like 2006 called Tattoos, and then there's this like reggaeton song with Camila Cabello called Tattoos that came out in like 2018. But like nobody has.
Oh, is that true? Like nobody.
Yeah. Dude,
what a void! What a void!
It's mind blowing to me, and no one has said like I got a new tattoo because it reminds me of you. Like I don't want to ever forget all the time that we had. I would do it all again. It didn't hurt that bad. I got a new tattoo because it reminds me of you. Like to me, I was just like when I listened to the song, I was like, dude, if I heard this from another band, I would be pissed that I didn't write it. And that's how I know that it's a fucking good song.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's absolutely a ripper. By the way, that is wild that Tattoo hasn't been used before. Speaking of that song, man, my first listen, and then obviously continue to listen, when you go up with, I don't ever want to forget all the times that we had, I love, clearly I can't sing, but when you do that at the end, you know, the end of the second part of the chorus, and then it rips into the like the breakdown when you're doing the octaves on the guitars and whatnot, that part and how you go up in that octave is so fucking good. Like immediately caught my attention, and then it just rips. Like that's gonna be, I love it. I mean, it's catchy and it's a real catch, but I love how you went up in the octave there, and then right before the breakdown, which obviously is the octaves and stuff, it just shreds. It's fucking sick. Great song.
Thank you. I think that's one thing that we try to do as a band. Like I have a high voice. I know I have a high voice. I've kind of always had a high voice, you know, when I sing. And you know, there's a lot of people making like rock music right now. I don't think any of them are kind of singing, you know, in that kind of register. And that's kind of like what sets Girlfriends apart, you know?
Right, and it's the perfect blend of things that we grew up with. Also, your ability, you're able to, you know, make words and everything, and just relationship with you and Nick, and just being able to make it mesh all together, and then also bringing that like that emotional aspect, passionate vibe to it, and just getting it across and conveying it, and it worked. I mean, you said that you had so many songs that you had to come down and put together, but I feel like the initial debut album from Girlfriends really hit a bunch of different. It's like, okay, well, here it is. Let's present this to the world. You come out with Girlfriends, it's like, boom, let's go. So catchy, like, let's go. But like, it's like, okay, well, listen to the whole album. This is like, kind of like, piece together who we are, and we're gonna compact it into this. And I think it's a solid representation because it does show range, it does show diversity, and then we build from there. And that's what you guys are doing right now.
Thank you, man. I mean, yeah, we wanted to make a real record, you know, like it was our first time kind of showing people like who we were and like what they were in store for. And so we wanted it to definitely like have range, and, you know, we don't want to make the same song 14 times, right. You know?
Definitely not.
Right. Cause you know, my favorite albums, like it's not that, they're not repetitive. It's not redundant. Like there's definitely range there. And like, you know, it's kind of like showing, you know, what you guys can do together. And I feel like Nick and I did that really well on the first record. And, you know, this new music, you know, that we're making, I mean, with Tattoo especially, like, I don't want anyone to kind of know what we're going to do next. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of want to keep people like on their toes in terms of like what it's going to sound like, what it's going to feel like. But, you know, we're just having fun in the studio, man, making songs that we like to listen to. And Tattoo is like the embodiment of that.
What's your fans asking, what is your favorite tattoo? What was your first ever tattoo? And what is your favorite tattoo, do you think?
My first tattoo was on my thighs. I traded a sidekick for it. I was 16. I got tattooed in a kitchen.
Wait, hold on. We got first of all the via hip top. Remember that when everything was via hip top? Obviously the sidekick. So you traded a sidekick. You gotta tell us about this. What?
Yeah. I didn't have money, dude. I was broke. I was 16. I had an old sidekick phone, and I was like, dude, I have a sidekick. And the tattoo artist was like, all right, I'll tattoo you if you give me the sidekick. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I sat at a kitchen table, and he tattooed my thighs. And I was 16, dude. And I got it on there because even if I was wearing boxers and like, you know, I was like getting out of the shower and stuff, like my parents wouldn't see it.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't know what I was doing. And I think my favorite tattoo, that's hard. I don't know. I just got my whole neck covered up. So I had like Medusa on there, and I covered my whole neck up with a gigantic skull.
Oh, sick, dude.
I'm covering a bunch of my old tattoos up this year. So like 2021 is like me covering up like all my like, not bad tattoos, but just tattoos that I've had for like 14 years that I want to get rid of, you know?
You want to move on from them? Yeah.
I just want new shit.
The new TV, the new Travis Mills coming at you right now. Let's go. New era, 2021 coming at you. Girlfriend's new song Tattoo as well, available for everybody to check out. Their latest song just dropped. We'll play for a couple of you in a couple minutes here on the Gunz Show on Twitch, as well as the Gunz Show, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, everywhere. Obviously, idobi Radio. Let's go. I think what's incredible about this whole entire thing that's happening is, first of all, fucking Travis Barker is, I mean, a monster right now. Feldman, and you know, Feldman, it was funny. I love Feldman. Everybody loves Feldman. Anybody who knows Feldman loves Feldman. But like, you know, he comes out story so far in the used, and Goldfinger obviously, like, you know, and then you know, then they does other stuff, but then like he propelled. Now, I mean, Feldman's back. I mean, not like he ever went away, but he's crushing it now. But being able to work obviously with Trav, obviously you guys are homies and stuff, but it's so cool because I see like Goody Grace and just like, you know, just everybody, just not everybody, but you know what I mean, like Kenny Hoopla, who's fucking crushing. I love his new album. What was it like working with somebody like Travis? And I mean, that's so cool that somebody who busted their ass and is like one of the most and best living drummers and drummers of all time, to be able to just fucking work with him, dude, has to be wild.
Well, it's wild because like, so Travis is from Corona. I'm from Riverside, California. So like growing up, he was like a god. You know what I mean? Like just, and Blink-182 was like my favorite band. I actually I met him a couple times when I was like 13, like stood in line at meet and greets, like when he'd open up a restaurant in Corona, like go hang out at the Famous Stars and Straps store. And you know, when I was doing like my hip hop project, we got connected, I think back in like 2012, we became friends. And I got to see like the last 5 Blink-182 shows at the Wiltern with Tom, because Travis invited me. So like that was epic. And then, you know, I've known Feldy for years as well. So like just working with Feldy was really natural, man. Like we worked so well together. And, you know, when you're at Feldy's house, like you never know who's going to walk in the studio. And so Travis, like, you know, from the beginning of that first record, like he was coming in like probably every week, kind of like listening to what we were doing and, you know, being like, oh, yo, I fuck with this one. And, you know, so that collaboration just happened literally like effortlessly. And he's just like, dude, he's the GOAT, man. He's a hero. He's an icon. He's a fucking legend. Like he deserves everything that he's getting right now. And he's just like such a genuine human. It's really fucking cool. And like Feldy is the best, man. And like I said, like, you know, you never know who's going to walk in the room. Like we went to a session and we walked in, and we knew it was going to be with our friend Josiah, but like I got there late and Nick's like, yeah, Fat Mike from NoFX is in the studio. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's like, he's playing guitar. He's like, he's going to make a song with us. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so we just went in and, you know, we had a session with me, Fat Mike, Nick, John Feldman, Josiah, and we made Congratulations that came out earlier this year. And, you know, Fat Mike's playing guitar on that song, which is fucking nuts. And, you know, we hit it off, and, you know, he's been like in the studio with us, just like kind of hanging out and sending me like new, like NoFX shit. And like, we talk all the time. So it's just wild, man. Like you never know who's going to pop up.
Dude, that story is crazy. I mean, like, just the icons that you just named, and just like, and it's kind of cool because it's like almost like nonchalant. It's like, oh, what's up, dude? And like inside, you're probably just like, this is crazy. But like, you know, because it wasn't planned, it's just like, let's roll. That's what you got to do. You just roll with it, you know, and fucking come out obviously with a great song like you guys were able to. One of the best songs on that album. Yeah.
One of the first like records I ever bought with my own money, it was like Blink 182, Cheshire Cat, Blink 182, Dude Ranch, NoFX, Heavy Petting Zoo. Like I bought like all those 3 albums in like one trip to like the record store when I was like 12 or 13, and I told Mike the story. But like when you open up Heavy Petting Zoo, like the booklet, it's like all this like BDSM, like there's like naked girls in there and like chokers and whips and chains and shit. And so I get home from the record store and I'm opening up these booklets, like taking these CDs out. My parents are like looking at this like, what the fuck did you just buy?
It's like, what just happened?
They're like, you can't have this. And I'm like, you can't censor me, Mom. And, you know, so we had to make a deal that I could like keep the CD, I could listen to it, but I couldn't keep the album booklet. And I was cool with that.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
No. And Mike is a fucking trip. He's awesome.
Absolutely. My favorite, I think, when he flew out for the final Warped Tour, Lyman got him, you know, NoFX a private jet because they were like, you have to play this. Like, we promoted you have to come out. And he flew out to California for like the final show, or like, you know, they did those like 4 shows or whatnot. And they fly him out. And I think, I'm pretty 100% sure about this, that they come out NoFX and they play one song and then walk off stage because they're like, you only told us we had to do one song. And of course, Fat Mike being Fat Mike, you know what I mean? It's just like one and done. And
he would do some shit like that.
I'm pretty sure he done it 25,000 people the final Warped Tour ever, and he comes out for the one song and then bounces.
It's because he's a real punk rocker, dude. He's like the most authentic and just like true to himself out of anyone I've met, man.
Totally.
That's a beautiful thing, you know?
Also, shout out to Punkorama. Remember the Punkorama compilations? All that stuff, like yeah.
I mean, dude, Mike owned, like Fat Records, like one of the most iconic labels, like in the scene. Period. Like that's his fucking label. It's insane, dude.
And what's so great about all these artists is they're helping us, and like what you're doing right now, that you've been around for like, you know, for a good amount of times now, Trav, is the fact that you're helping the next generation as well, and everyone's collectively coming up. It's unlike any other music scene out there, and that's the beauty about it. His name is Travis Mills. I am Gunz from the Gunz Show. Shout out to all those that are watching along, as well as those that are listening to us. You should be watching us live if you're not, but I appreciate that. Make sure to drop a follow, subscribe, you know, the whole entire thing on the Gunz Show podcast. Real quick, just to wrap everything else up, obviously tour is going to be ridiculous. Tour is going to be wild. Kicks off in September. Mod's son Tyler Posey, get tickets if you haven't gotten it yet. Tattoo obviously is out right now. Somebody else wanted to know about, I just want to give them a shout out. Lucifer wanted to know about new, like, are we going like the single route right now? Like, you mentioned you have a ton of stuff. Like, are we thinking even another album? Like, we didn't even get through the first one yet. We haven't even toured on it yet. So what's the deal with that? Lucifer wants to know.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely making a new record right now, so just stay tuned. But like you said, we didn't even get to tour our first album, so like we definitely, you know, the Mod Sun tour, this is what I will say, and I haven't said this before yet, but the Mod Sun tour in September will not be the only tour that we're doing this year. So, you know, get your tickets now. If it's sold out and you can't get tickets, you will have another chance later this year to see us live. And then, yeah, you'll be getting a record sometime after that, once we get to, you know, kind of tour and give our debut album, you know, some legs and some life, because we worked really hard on it. We want people to hear it live before we kind of move into the next phase of Girlfriends. But Tattoo is what we're focused on now, man. We got a video that's coming that's fucking crazy. I directed it. It's gonna be insane. And yeah, I can't wait to go play these songs live for people. And I guess if I had to say one last thing, it's that Girlfriends is the best fucking band in the world. So.
Let's fucking go. You know it. You heard it here first. That's Travis Mills from Girlfriends. Make sure to listen to all that music. Coming off of what you just said, that's awesome. But from you personally, man, is this the like, are you stoked, pumped up? Like, how do you compare this era in your life to past times? I mean, these tours are gonna be like, I mean, dude, it's happening. Is it all happening? Guess what I'm saying? I think it's Travis Mills 2.0. Let's go.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Like, I get an even crazier feeling than, you know, from like back in the day, like when, you know, shit started to pop off. Like I feel a lot of that like same energy, like even just intensified, you know, magnified. And, you know, like, look, Nick and I, we literally say like, we are the best band in the world. And we say that every fucking day, every fucking studio session, every fucking rehearsal until, you know, we will it into existence, and it's fucking true. And like the whole entire world is saying that. And that's, dude, that's like our one goal. So just like, you know, we set like micro goals, macro goals, and it's so nice that we're able to like cross all these things off. And, you know, dude, we're just getting fucking started. We've only been a band for a year, so I can't wait to see, you know, where this is in 5 or 10 years.
I'm fucking, dude, I'm definitely going to be a part of that journey. You always have a home here on the Gunz Show.
Thank you for all the love you've given me for forever. You already know.
Dude, appreciate it, man. Best of luck with everything. Also, you have an Apple music show, right? Like you do radio stuff as well. Right?
Yeah, I got the Travis Mills show on Apple Music, and then the Super Bloom radio show that's attached to a playlist inside Apple Music as well that I curate, host, talk to authors, athletes, you know, actors, musicians, bands, artists, everything.
Do the damn thing. There it is. Nice shout outs right there. Follow him on all his endeavors. It's Travis Mills. Thank Nick for us.
He just texted me. He's like, this is what Nick just said. He just texted me. He goes, holy fuck, I've been drumming for the last hour and a half. I'm sorry.
It's all good. We'll pass it on. Next time, it'll be happening. Well, how about this? You guys are playing Music Hall of Williamsburg here. I normally broadcast out of Madison Square Garden. You did. This is all. You came through one time. I think I told you this story about you coming through, and you had to.
Yeah. No, I remember that.
So let's have you guys come through. Yeah,
sure.
When you guys come to New York City, we'll have you into Madison Square Garden. It'll be sick again. It'll be fucking solid. And yeah, man, always a pleasure. Check him out, girlfriends. One of the hardest working bands out there. He's back. He's ready to go. Shout out to everybody rewatching this on the replay. We do this live every single Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We got Jono from the Maine coming next week. We got, speaking of Blink, working on Tom DeLonge coming on the show because Angels and Airwaves got the new album out. And I'm so pumped on that. And shout out to everybody. Girlfriends, Tattoos, song out right now. I'm going to play it once Travis leaves us. My man, appreciate it. Rock, roll, stay sober. Or not sober. Definitely don't stay sober. Rock, roll, stay ballin', my friend. Rock and roll. And drinks up. Peace.